Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 10.2 Notes. Today we're talking about linear regression. Our learning target today is to calculate the least line of best using a graphing calculator. So here's the key thing right now. You need to be using a graphing calculator. So I'm going to review everything that we did in class using a TI-84 plus C Silver Edition, okay? You need to get one of these for this lesson, okay? Some of you might be able to do it with another calculator, okay? Otherwise, you need to go to the math department and try to rent one of these out for a period or do it with Ms. Carranza or Mr. Grice, okay? Myself. So, you received one of these worksheets in class. So I'm going to be going back and forth between the linear regression instructions and the notes, okay? So starting with the linear regressions instruction sheet, there are 3 buttons that we're going to hit. Well, before we get started with that, let's face it, some of you guys like to screw around on your calculators a little bit, okay? And you might get lost, or you just hit the wrong button and you don't know what's going on. So to get out of any screen, you're going to hit the second button. And the next one that you're going to hit, let me double check to make sure I know which one it is the mode button. So second mode. Second mode gets you to quit the screen that you're on, okay? So I end up getting to some screen that I don't want to be on, and I'm like, how do I do it? So I'm hitting second. You can see the red one that's highlighted, and then mode, and that quits me out, okay? If you look right above the mode, there is a quit sign, okay? So that means quit. So to do linear regression, I'm going to hit the second, this y equals, which is the top left, and the next thing it tells me to do is hit the enter button in the bottom right, okay? So I hit second, I hit y equals, and then I hit enter. So let's take a look at what it tells me to do. I want my screen that you just saw flashing to be the exact same as the other one. So there are 4 things that I need to have highlighted. I need to have plot 1 highlighted, which I do. I need to have on highlighted. And as I'm going up and down, I'm just using the arrow keys in the top right, okay? I want this, see the 5 different graphs, 1, 2, or we've got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want the points one highlighted. And then the last thing that I want is the mark, and I want that mark to be that first one. Okay, so that was step 1, okay? So make sure that plot 1 is highlighted and selected, and so are these options. And we use the arrows and the enter button to select or deselect. Okay, so if you went through and so you accidentally hit that one, just go back to what we need to. You can see on my right side how it's highlighted. I hit enter and that's what we get. Okay, now to get out of this screen, I'm going to hit the second mode and that quits me from where I'm at. Okay, now step 2 is I'm going to hit the stat button, which is the second row where the alpha is, and hit stat. The next thing it tells me to do is to hit enter. And now I've got all these lines. And so if you've got like a bunch of information in yours and you're like, Mr. Grice, how do I get rid of all that? I don't want it there. All I'm going to do is move to the very top and see how L1 is highlighted. I'm going to hit the clear button and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and that gets rid of all of that information for me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through and we're going to put all of these values in. Okay, this is going to be L1, and all of these guys are going to be line 2. So watch how I do it. The first one is 10, and its partner, 10's partner, if I'm looking at it, was 55. Okay? Now, going back and forth between the pairs can take a long time. All right? So I'm just looking at my worksheet right off on my sheet. So I've got 18. The next number is 41. The next number is 328. Oh, no, not 320. I'm looking at the wrong one. 20, 1, 33, 24, 38, 27, and 32. Cool. So I've got all of my line 1, which was everything in the blue. And now I'm going to do everything for line 2. Now, I want you to pause the video and see if you can get all of these on your own. Okay? Now, the reason why we're doing all of this stuff is so we don't have to do it by hand. And I know it's tough the first time we do it, but after this, it should be very easy for you guys to do. Okay? So, line 2, go ahead and pause the video and see if you can get all of those numbers in. Okay, and there you go. So those two should be exactly the same. Okay? Awesome. Now we're going to go back to this. So we already did step 1. Woohoo! We just finished step 2. And now we're moving on to step 3. So step 3 says to hit the table set and set up the window for your scatter plot. Hints. Your x-min, xy should be zeros in the screen, and your max values will vary. So I'm going to hit the window button. If you can see where it's highlighted, it's on the very top row, second one. So it says that my x-min should be 0. So mine was something different, so I'm going to hit 0. Now my x max. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look here, and what is the highest x value that we have? Well, the highest x value that I see is 41. So for my graph, I want it to be just a little bit higher than 41. So I'm going to put 45 because I like nice numbers, and 45 seems like a nice number to me. Now my x scale is going to be 0. My y min is going to be 0. Now my y max, I'm coming back to this sheet and I'm looking for my highest y value, which is 328. And just like before, I want to go a couple higher, so it's going to be nice. So for this one, I'm going to do 330, hit enter. My y scale, blah, blah, my y scale is going to be 0. And then we don't mess with the x res. That stays the exact same. Okay, so the rest of it, we're just going to leave it. Don't touch it. All right? Now, the next step tells us that we need to hit the graph button. So the graph button is the top row all the way to the right. And there you go. Your graph should look something just like this. Okay? Now, we are done with step 3. Step 4 says that we need to press the stat. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to press the stat button. Once again, that's kind of by alpha in your arrow key. And then it says to use your arrow to select the calc option. So if you can see, I don't know if it's easier to see on the calculator or to see on the screen that it says edit calc and tests. We want to go to calc, and then it says to find the LINREGAX plus B, and that's option 4. Okay, so I'm going to go down to option 4, and it says and press enter. All right, so now I know some of your guys' line looked like this, some of yours didn't. So let's see, what should we do? Your screen should look like this below. Use your arrow to select calculate and press enter. So I'm going to go down to where it says calculate, and I'm going to hit enter. And there we go. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Don't do what Mr. Grice did. There we go. Mr. Grice had it on quadratic 1 and not linear, so this is why it looks a little different. So once again, I was on stat. I moved it over to calculate, and I want option 4, which is linear regression. And then I'm going to go down to calculate. And that's what I got. I think you guys, all you had to do was hit enter, and yours just automatically popped up to this, which is awesome. Okay? And guess what? We're good now. Okay? This is what we want. Okay? Now, let's look at our problem. It says the following table shows the total pay and hours worked for several employees at Moe's Bagels. Round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. So putting all of those points in and finding the linear regression is helping us to use the graphing calculator to create a scatter plot. So that was the first thing that we did. So I'm going to go back to our graph so we can look at the scatter plot. Describe the correlation between the two variables. So what's going on? Is it positive or is it negative? Okay, it's positive. And is it strong? Is it weak, moderate, perfect? I'd say this is pretty strong. Okay, the points are really, really, really close. All right, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say that the correlation, is positive and strong. You could say that it's strongly positive. Remember how we talked about doing it in, or other ways that we can write that. So B says use the graphing calculator to find the equation of the line of best fit. And guess what? That's what we just did when we went to the stat, calc, linear regression, calculate. This is my line of best fit right here. Okay. It's saying that A is our slope because it's saying AX plus B. So A is our slope and B is our y-intercept. And I want to round this to the nearest hundredth, which is the second decimal. So as I'm over here writing, y equals my slope, 7.8 to 5 or more, raise the score, 4 or less, let it rest. So y equals 7.81x, and then our y-intercept is negative 31.828. That third or the second 8 tells me that I need to round. So negative 31.83. Okay, and what's cool is we can go into our y equals, I'm going to type that equation, the 7.81x minus 31.83, and when I graph that, now you can see my line of best fit. Okay, and we didn't have to do anything, no real work, it's just plugging different numbers into the calculator. Okay, so let's look to see what question C is asking us for. It says, using your equation from part B, determine the total pay of an employee who works 50 hours. So that means that I need to know what X and Y are. So X was our hours worked. So I'm going to write this over here. X equals our hours and Y equals our pay. So they're saying that X is 50. So that means I need to find out what our Y is. And guess how we're going to do that? Yeah, we're just going to plug into the calculator. Y equals 7.81 times 50 minus 31.83. Okay, and we can use our regular calculators for this. I want to get out of this screen, so I'm going to quit. And I've got 7.81 times 50. That gives me 39.5. Or what was it? 390.5, sorry. And we're going to minus 31.83. So I'm just going to go back. I'm going to subtract 31.83. And I get 358.67. Okay. So our pay, we're talking about pay. So I'm going to make sure to label it 358.67. And just so I know that that's our answer, I'm putting a box around it and highlighting. Okay. Question D says, use the equation from part B to find out the amount of hours. Find the hours. So right away, it's saying that X equals is what we're trying to find. Okay, and what do we know about Y? They're saying that Y equals $202.47. So the 202.47 equals, and then we're using the rest of the equation, 7.81x minus 31.83. Okay? And how do we solve? Well, we're doing SAD maps. So we add the 31.83, add the 31.83. Okay, if you want to come back and use your calculators, 202.47 plus 31.83 equals, so I got 234.30 equals 7.81x, and the last thing is to solve, so I'm going to divide both sides by 7.81. And when I divide my answer by 7.81, we get 30. So X is 30 hours. So it took us almost 20 minutes to go through one problem. The reason why it took us 30 minutes is because we really had to go through and talk about all the different parts of the calculator and going through all of the steps. From here on out, guys, it should not take you that long, okay? I know when we're working with technology, it can be difficult, so make sure you come in to see Ms. Carranza or myself. Go to the website, make sure you have these, and ask for help when you need it, okay? The rest of these examples we're going to be going through later on in the week, so the next couple videos for the next couple days, each one of these, I'm going to be going through another one of these problems, okay? So this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra Unit 10.2 Notes, Video 1. Thanks for watching.